So in this video, we are going to be working on mid-back pain, also known as the thoracic back. So your thoracic back is your mid-back. It's right in here. And this sequence is really designed to help it from rounding here. So a lot of us are sit at computers for long periods of time. We end up rounding. We blame our shoulders. We actually end up having pain more right here. So this sequence is going to help bring that mid-back back and avoid that kyphotic position. So kyphosis is that mid-back rounding. It's also going to help adjust our pelvis too, because as you can see, when I round here, my pelvis comes with it because the entire body is connected. So we're going to start off in our static back position for 5 minutes. So go ahead and grab your chair. We're going to lay back with our legs over the block, and we just get to relax here for 5 minutes. Remember, our focus is on our breath here. So your feet are relaxed, pelvis is relaxed, palms facing up, so it helps open up that shoulder. Now, if you do have a lot of thoracic rounding, if you feel like your shoulders cave off of the floor here, you can go ahead and place a small pillow or a small towel underneath your neck, so you're not having to tilt your head back like this. You can even hear how that changed my voice because it put some pressure on your neck here. So want to make sure you almost have that double chin feeling, because your chin is more into your neck here. Okay, so if that's not possible for you, go ahead and put that pillow behind your head, not necessarily your neck, but your head. We're just going to let ourselves melt into the floor here. So if you do find that you have a lot of rounding and you needed that pillow, take note that in a couple of days after doing this sequence multiple times, you might not need it as much and you might be able to take it away. It really changes that quickly. All right, so we're just going to be breathing into our lower diaphragm. So our diaphragm is that muscle right below our rib cage. I like to put my hands there at the beginning, but then I like to relax them back out, palms facing up, because I can definitely tell my shoulders like to round a little bit more when my hands are on my stomach. So take note too if you feel your lower back is pressed against the ground or if it's slightly arched up. It may be different for you because your body is different than the next person's. Also note if there's any rotation right to left, so if you feel one side into the ground more than another. And you can just take a nap here today. This is our first one. So I like to hold it for about 5 minutes. Now if you feel like you need more time in this position to fully melt and relax into the ground, if you feel like your shoulders are still rounded, if you feel like your pelvis is still arched up, then you can take more time within this position. Remember to focus on your breathing here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Try to feel like you can breathe into that mid-back area, into that sore area, without raising your shoulders. So we don't want to breathe through our lungs by lifting our rib cage and raising our shoulders, but we do want to feel that back and the sides and the lower rib cage expand when we inhale. Note if your body is starting to let go through that breathing.
Sometimes we really take advantage of the fact that we can breathe without thinking about it, but our breath ends up being shallow and not fully filling our body with oxygen. So it's nice to kind of come back into your body and really feel that breath and feel how it nourishes your muscles and relaxes your body. So now we're going to stay in static back and do a couple of shoulder and mid-back changing exercises. So I changed my position here so you can better see my arm position, but I'm still in static back. I just wanted you to see a better angle. So we're going to bring our elbows out to shoulder level, bend our elbows, and make fists facing our feet. They're light fists. They're not the golfer's grip, just light fists. Now here we're going to pinch our shoulder blades together. So squeeze those shoulder blades together and release. And squeeze and release. And squeeze and release. Now we're not leveraging off our elbows. We're not pushing our elbows into the ground. I want you to really feel your shoulders come back into that ground. So if you had a pencil in between your shoulder blades, you'd be squeezing and holding that pencil there and then releasing it. Now you might start to feel some clicking or popping in either shoulder. That's pretty common. And normally as we go through this sequence, it starts to smooth out a little bit. It's also pretty common to feel a difference right to left because a lot of us have shoulder disparities because we also have hip disparities. Disparity being difference from one side to the other. So we're going to try to even that out. And that's where we like to take our little breaks too. Not because you're super tired, just because when we get out of that position, so take a break for a second, getting back into it, it resets our muscles, and then as we go, squeeze and release, it's a little bit more even than it was the first time. So it's okay if your chest comes up a little bit. You're not actively trying to arch your back. Remember, this move is within the shoulder blades. This is how we're getting a little bit more thoracic extension, so extending that mid-back to a better position. It's also going to help some of that shoulder rounding, so if you also feel like your shoulders are coming way far forward, note that that's two different posture deviations. One shoulder rounding, one is thoracic rounding. Okay, take one more little break and we're going to do our last set of 10 here. Ready? And 1, 2, making sure it's even, 3, 4, pulling down and back, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very nice. So if you feel like your upper traps are starting to engage and you're not feeling like your shoulder blades are being pulled down and back towards your bum, you can lower your elbows a little bit. You don't have to have them quite at shoulder level. So now this next one we're going to do is called static back pullovers. So we're going to clasp our hands in front of our chest here, holding those hands kind of tight, holding the palms together. Now elbows are straight, and you want to try to make those elbow pits face each other. So my hyperextending friends will sometimes try to lock out their elbows like this. I want them straight and facing each other, but keep those elbows nice and straight. Now, drop your shoulder blades into the ground, keeping those elbows straight still, and we're going to drop our hands behind our head here. Now, if you can't touch the floor your first time, that's totally okay. Just go as far as you can. You're going to feel like your back probably wants to arch here. It's okay for right now to let it arch a little bit, although eventually as you do this, you want to keep that back relaxed into the ground. So moving back and forth pretty slow. right, take a little break, just kind of relax into it. Then we're gonna go back straight into it. So if you weren't touching the ground, the very first try, do you feel like it's starting to loosen up here a little bit and you're starting to go a little bit further down to the ground? It's kind of hard to tell because you can't really see where your arms are because they're over your head. But if a lot of people are tight in this, they normally start to feel some loosening. You might even feel this in your abdominal muscles as it stretches there. You might feel it in your lats. You might feel it in your shoulder blades, shoulders, lots of places. This one can be pretty challenging, again, even though it looks like a pretty simple movement. Just like the last one. All right, take another little break. We're going to come back together for our last 10. And 1, 2, 3. Have you touched the floor yet? If you have, that's awesome. If you haven't, that's awesome too. You're doing the work. And you will touch the floor someday. We're going to say that's 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. Just take a moment in this static back position and note if you feel like your mid-back, your lower back, or even your shoulders have changed position, if this feels more comfortable. If you were using a towel beforehand, can you take the towel away and still feel like your shoulders are relaxed into the ground and your head's not tilting back? So this ends our static back sequence, so I want you to grab your 2 yoga blocks next. So this next exercise is probably one of my absolute favorite exercises. I personally find it very challenging. You might be able to see my left arm shake while we do it. So you're going to start on your stomach, and you're going to need quite a bit of room because we're going to spread out long. You're going to bring your toes together. You can see how my toes are together, heels out, and then just relax that down to the ground. All right, so you're going to get a little bit of internal rotation here throughout your hip. We're going to make that golfer's grip position with our hands, and we're going to place our hands on top of our 2 yoga blocks, or you can use 2 pillows if you don't have 2 yoga blocks, okay? So watch this for a second. We are going to rotate our thumbs and our wrists and our arms out to the sides of the room like this, but we're not doing it from the wrists and we're not doing it from the elbows. We are doing it from the shoulder blades. Okay, so you really want to keep that elbow locked out straight and feel your shoulder blades are doing this rotation. Right, then we're going to hold that. We're going to keep trying to rotate, rotate, rotate as much as we can throughout this 1 minute. Ready? Let me start my timer here. Dropping the forehead down, rotating the thumbs out from your shoulder blades. So you should be able to feel this, a lot of work in your shoulder blades. And your butt is now relaxed. Everything from your waist down is relaxed. Shoulder blades are working hard. Arms are working hard. Everything's working hard. But man, I love this one. I can really feel it in my forearms, even though I'm twisting from my shoulder girdle, not from my elbows or my wrists. Can feel that pull, that stretch in my forearms. So focusing on your breathing here too, especially since you're on your stomach. It's a little hard to breathe. It's a little hard to talk and breathe at the same time. Oh, there's the left, Richie. All right, go ahead and close that over. Perfect. So now we are going to, now we had our arms straight overhead. Now we're going to bring it out to about 1:30 and about 10:30 here. I'm a little offset because my lovely stand there with my plant. All right. Same position in our legs. We're going to repeat the whole sequence just with our arms out a little bit further.
Rotating from the shoulder blades here. You want to feel a long neck rotating out. Keeping your low back relaxed, keeping your bum relaxed, keeping the bony bits of the front of your pelvis into the floor. So they're not raising up, you're not sticking your butt up in the air. Good, keeping those elbows straight. Ooh, if you're watching me, which you shouldn't be, you should be doing it yourself. You might see my left arm is starting to twitch a little bit. Getting to that weak spot for me, that disobedient spot.
Excellent. Close it off. You're not done yet. We have one more round. So we're going to bring our blocks out to our T here. I'm going to try to get it in as much as the frame as I can. So straight out from our shoulders. These are our shoulders, now that I remember. All right, one last one here. Same thing, we're gonna rotate, and this one you can really see how I rotate from my shoulders. So I'm gonna do that one more time for you to see, rotating from the shoulders, not rotating from the wrists or the elbows. Pull those shoulders down and back. Feel your shoulder blades pulling towards your bum. Woo! That is a lot of work. If you're doing it right, it should not be easy. I've never had somebody do this correctly and it be super easy for them. So if it's super easy, you probably aren't moving your shoulders very much. Good, breathe through it. We're almost done here. All right, relax. Very nice job. Didn't you love that one too? All right, this next one we're gonna do is static extension position, not on the block this time. If you've watched some of the other videos and you wanna challenge yourself and do the block, you are welcome to. So we're gonna start in a quadruped position. So hands over, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. We're gonna walk our hands one hand length forward. Now we're gonna shift our weight over our wrists so you can see how my hips shifted in front of my knees. You're gonna relax your stomach and let your pelvis tip forward so you're sticking your tailbone up into the sky. Collapse your shoulder blades together, really let them squeeze together, and then relax your head. Now we are going to hold this here for 2 minutes. Now make sure that you're not doing like a half plank here where you drop your hips into a straight line. Okay, that's not the goal of this. I want that nice S curve of your spine. Good, making sure that your elbow pits are facing each other, they're not hyperextending, and they're still straight. So even though you have your shoulder blades collapsed together, your elbows are still straight. Your neck is as relaxed as you can be. Good. Stomach is relaxed. Pelvis is tipping forward, and we're trying to breathe through it too. So I'm going to do a 2-minute hold today. You are welcome to start with a 1-minute hold or even a 30-second hold if 1 minute is too much for you. All right? Find what feels comfortable and good for you. Good. Making sure your hips are still slightly in front of your knees. We are 1 minute down. Good. Keep dropping that neck. Sometimes I like to rock it back and forth to relax my neck. And breathe. Good. You might start to feel a little burning in your arms. That's pretty normal. Maybe some shaking. Keep breathing. You got this. Stay with it. 25 seconds left. Now remember,
It is not no pain, no gain. So if you need to take breaks, take breaks. All right, go ahead and come out of it.
So my friends, we have taken a little vacation outside to my balcony because I need something sturdy to hold on to for this last one. So we are going to do a version of a squat. Now all you need is something right in front of you to hold on to. You can also do this with your kitchen sink too. Just make sure it's pretty stable so you don't break your kitchen sink. All right, so we're going to grab on. We're going to walk our feet close to our hands here so they're in line. We're going to sit back into that 90-degree angle, okay? So your knees are over your ankles here. You're not like way forward like this, right? So then we're gonna place a slight arch in our low back. So we're gonna roll that pelvis forward, and then we're gonna slightly bring our shoulder blades together. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the timer here for 1 minute. Weight in your heels, get that slight lower back roll, and then pull your shoulder blades together. So really squeeze them together. I know it's not super easy there, but we can at least enjoy the outside. Hopefully not hear all of the traffic working. So try to sit down a little bit lower here. Very nice. Breathe through. We're halfway done. Ooh, I'm feeling shaky today. Stay with it. Make sure that your legs are evenly weighted so you're not favoring one side versus another. All right, go ahead and come up. Very nice job. So that is our sequence for mid-back rounding and pain. Hopefully you feel like your shoulders and your back are a little bit more open. Plus you might have a little bit of a wake up in your legs after that last squat. So I will see you in the next video.